favor? Could you subscribe to my YouTube channel? I publish. Did you find me? Yeah. Cool. Thank you. I publish conversations from my car. So like a bunch of people around the cities, and we just talk about tons of different stuff. A lot of astrology, honestly.
Astrology.
Yeah.
I wish I was a little more...
Astrology, not astronomy.
Astrology,
Yeah, that's fun that your science teacher talked about astrology.
I'm not sure it's fun like he did, but I thought it was interesting like he talked about it though. He said he did a little bit of a pitch on it, but he said that basically I don't remember too much of it, so I probably didn't make too much of the argument, but
I want to know your science teacher, honestly. I was a math teacher for 2 years. Yeah. And honestly, astrology has tons of math in it too. But I mean, I'm way more into the planets now that I'm into astrology.
that's astronomy. I mean, or I guess
I am. I'm more into astronomy because of astrology.
Okay.
Yeah. They're they're not the same, but they're related.
Well, they kind of have some overlapping kind of. Astrology is more of a philosophy to an extent than astronomy. Astronomy is more. I mean, I guess you can all trace everything back to philosophy.
I guess. I watched a really funny YouTube video where this lady, it was a big thick, like a super smart, like astrophysicist. Yeah. She was saying, she was like, astronomy would have been called astrology. You think about like biology, geology, geography, that doesn't count. Anyway, all of it like ends in -agi. That's the study of. But astrology took it first. So they had to name astronomy because astrology was already named astrology. So I just thought that was so funny. Yeah. But anyway, I want to... Yeah. So, but I want to hear more about what your science teacher was saying.
He said something about like, I don't know if it was supposed to be like, oh, it's because of how like the time has been, like since it's been a long time, or like maybe something with Earth's rotation, but it was something having to do with the way things have changed now.
The signs changed.
The signs would have actually been a month, I think, beforehand or a month after. It would have been like, I think it would have been a month. I forgot it was a month earlier or a month after would be the actual.
Yes,
thing.
I know what you're talking about. I missed that whole big piece of news. My friend, he talks about it every time I bring up astrology. He's like, but my sign is different than the one you think it is. And I'm just like, stop. Because there's, of course, like anything, there's different, I don't even know what to call them, like different strains of astrology, almost. Like the one I follow, it's almost like religions, or like, Catholicism, like different. No, I'm trying to think of like.
Roman pantheon.
No, I'm trying to think of like the what's the word for like Presbyterian, Lutheran? There you go. Okay, so I'm trying to say there's different denominations of astrology.
Oh,
okay. Yes, there's different ways of looking at it. So like there's Hellenistic astrology. There's traditional astrology. And that's the one that I follow. And it's...
Would that be like the modern New Age, or would that be like a Roman?
It's older.
Roman?
It's older. I don't think it's Roman.
Okay.
It's older. And so I don't think that it goes with like whatever the thing that changed, whatever, the thing that your science teacher was talking about.
Yeah.
I think it's with the way things were before. But anyway.
Well, I'm saying, like, it was one way before, but then because time, like, and so since it's been preserved that way, like, that's how people say it is, like, it's in this time of month, because of how things have changed, then things have moved. Like, it would be different now, but they can still say it's like a month. We're
still just sticking with it the way that it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But right. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe there are people, though, that are using the new map of the sky and doing astrology from that perspective.
Yeah.
It's possible. So, like, if you go on AstroSeek to do your chart, under advanced settings, you can pick which denomination you want to use to calculate the chart. So, like, its default is Placidius or whatever. I don't know what that is. But then I always change it to whole house because that's what I use. That's like the traditional way. So anyway, all that. But yeah. So like, when's your birthday? April what?
I know I'm a Taurus.
Okay, you're a Taurus. Fun. Do you feel like you identify as a Taurus? Like, do you know what a Taurus is like, and do you feel like you are like a Taurus?
I have somewhat of an idea. Like, I mean, it's. I mean, I think when it comes to, I guess semantics here, but like when it comes to like identification and like I guess if like whether or not like depending on when I'm born I'm a Taurus or not, like it depends on like that. I think whether I identify as if I see that as like fitting to myself. I feel like some of it seems to be.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, do you mind talking about it? Do you mind saying what parts do feel like yourself?
I mean, I can be stubborn sometimes. That's all. That's really all I know. There's that, and I guess there was some things that I heard about some like hobbies, what types of things like that they like when it comes to like jobs. I forgot what that was.
Okay.
I think it was maybe more intellectual things. I don't know.
Okay.
I forgot.
Yeah, sure.
It's well since I've seen that little chart thing.
Yeah. So, like, from what I remember about Tauruses, I know that stubborn is, like, for sure a thing that a lot of people say, but also sensitive, and a lot of them are into, like, things having to do with money, and they tend to like nice things, like expensive things, and that just like the idea of money in general brings them comfort and stability.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, I mean, doesn't everybody feel more comfortable with money? Right.
I mean, that's kind of the thing though too. Usually with things that like claim to be like psychic or just general stuff like that, the usual thing that I guess makes it a little more people it really helps people like see it more. I guess is it's more it's very swaths of like a very general thing, so it could appeal to a general audience. So that generally like you'll feel like like they'll have a bit of different things that they'll say. Like for example, psychic medium will say like they'll start off with something like very simple to see what your reaction is. They'll go okay.
Like that if you are like leaning in or like that doesn't really work for me.
They'll probably try to
pivot.
Say, we'll come back to that later. Maybe that's something else to do.
Yeah.
And I mean that's kind of something
I don't believe in psychics.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's like I mean of course I'm not
sure. It's ancient. It's
I know,
like
that's why
yeah. And it developed over like thousands of years too.
Yeah.
So it's like other, and I don't even want to say religions because it's not a religion, but it's like religions that kind of built on things over time, I want to say, well, I don't even know. I should know. If I'm getting into it, I should probably research things and should know. But I know that it's very popular in like India and like that part of the world, and it has been for a long time. Yeah. So, but anyway.
It could perhaps, I mean, I'm not sure if it's present in religions such as like Norse paganism, but if it is, I could possibly theorize it could go back. This is a educated, uneducated guess because I'm not like visually educated.
Yeah.
But it could go back to like it could all be related like with the Greeks, the Indians, and the Romans. If that isn't the case, it could possibly go back to the Proto-Europeans.
Yeah.
the people that were related to all those people. So
Yeah.
they're all the same.
I feel like they all got woven together, like all this stuff, all these myths, because it was like storytelling, and it was like all of the people that lived like 4,000 years ago traveled around and told stories to each other, and they used the stars to say, oh, this is a bear and that bear, and like the stories got, and then like the Romans told the stories in one way and the Greeks told the stories a different way, and then they got told the stories through astrology, and you know what I mean, and it's all just the same stories that were being passed around through word of mouth, but they just got written down in different ways in different parts of the world, but they all go back to the same story, I think. And then like the Bible happened to be written down 2,000 years later, and,
I think
right.
Well, I think with especially like the Indo-European, it's like the I guess like how languages have spread out and like evolved. It's basically Greek, Roman, Latin, Romance languages like Spanish, Portuguese, French, Slavic language, Russian, all the Germanic languages, even like English, are all related to each other, will make a family. Even like Persian parts are related to, because they all go go to Indo-European. So I'm saying like those people about 6,000 years ago, they could have had a similar religion too, because that kind of all spread out too, because that's where you have like paganism, like Greek paganism.
Right.
You have similar figures, like you have the Sky Father figure, like Zeus, Jupiter,
Right.
or for example, Odin.
Yeah.
And stuff. So you have
right.
Those. I'm not so sure what happened in India there, but I mean, I guess
there are similar gods
in
yes.
But they all can like evolve from that and spread out into different like the languages in.
Yes.
But I do think the biblical religion though could be more of a different spread from it because it's Semitic, so it's a bit different. But
interesting point.
It's like because like the languages that we know, most of the languages in Europe anyway, are Indo-European languages that are like that's kind of classification. It's like it's one classification up from like Slavic, Russian, Slavic, or like Romance languages, or like French, Spanish, but it's like that. But like for that it's Indo-European. It's the bigger family. It's a language family. So a similar thing might be with religions. Possibly if you have, I guess, the word God, which the original word God was like Theos, and it turned into like in Greek it was like the Greek word for God is Theos, but actually that's also it actually turned into Zeus, or Zeus. Zeus basically is in English.
That's my dog's name.
The name of the dog is Zeus.
Yeah. Dog of dogs.
Dog of dogs. That's a funny title.
I didn't even name him. But I just recently learned about the myth of Nyx, Nyx, who's actually the woman that Zeus learned everything he knows from. And I didn't even know she existed. So I learned that through this YouTuber that I watched. She's an astrologer, and I just learned that myth from her. And so I'm like, oh, well, now I need to learn everything about Nyx. And yeah. Okay, so just based on everything you were just talking about, okay, so I want to tell you about planets a little bit, okay? First, my favorite planet is Mercury. Mercury is, they call it the mind's planet, okay? It represents like how you think and communicate, all right? And so my Mercury is in Virgo, and I'm all like, just when I start having conversations and communicating with people like we are right now, like where I'm just like, oh, I'm totally getting everything you're saying and I can't wait to stop talking and for you to start talking again. I'm so curious what your Mercury is in. And I know it's not Virgo because you're a Taurus, but so when you're a Taurus, your Mercury can either be a Taurus or it could be a Gemini, or it could be the sign on the other side of Taurus, which I think is Aries. So because Mercury is so close to the sun, it can only be either your sun sign or one way on either side. Because it doesn't get too far away from the sun. So when you're born, you understand in your chart? Yeah, and so like when you're born, it's always so close to the sun is what I'm saying. In your chart, it has to be either your sun sign or one way. So I'm guessing that your Mercury, well, I don't know, it's either Taurus or Gemini, I think. But it could be Aries too. I mean, obviously, I know that those three. Anyway, I like to know what people's Mercuries are, but I'm probably not going to find out unless you do your chart. But do you know what time you were born?
What time?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, so you could do your chart on AstroSeek in the next 16 minutes if you wanted to. It's Astro-Seek. Or just type in free astrology chart and then go to AstroSeek. But then we want to do advanced settings for whole house signs. Yeah, this will be fun. For me, I don't know. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. But you'll also learn your rising sign, which is the most important of your signs. It's more important than your Taurus. So, yeah, you can, if you want to just listen to me while you try to do it, I think you can. But you can ask me questions if you have questions about AstroSeek while you do it. I knew I was a Virgo all my life, and I did identify pretty well as a Virgo. But then recently, as I got into astrology, I found out my rising sign, and it added the other, it was like, oh, everything now makes sense. Because your rising sign is based on the exact time that you were born. And so it's not just, oh, everybody that was born in that month, roughly, whatever. It's so much more exact. And it is like, it's like you actually. I mean, I don't know. And I also don't like believe in astrology so much that when I start talking about it like this, I like pull back a little bit. But it did add a lot to my own understanding of myself to find out my rising sign. So I do try to help people find out their rising sign when they don't know, because I think it does help. Okay, so are you on AstroSeek?
Perhaps I can do it later.
Okay.
Because I don't know exact time. Right?
But 3 o'clock in the morning is close enough. But if you want to do it later, then that's fine. Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
Do you hold to a particular religion?
I'm an atheist. Yeah. How about you?
Has nothing ever convinced you? I'm Christian.
Okay. I grew up Christian, so I was unconvinced. Have you always been Christian?
I guess you could say that, but truly, in a true sense of the word, no one's ever Christian.
True, but is that what you grew up?
I grew up Christian, yeah, but it was kind of, I was more of like the cultural Christian kind of thing. I mean, I didn't really know too much what it meant. I guess I didn't have any idea of the significance.
Okay.
I guess I just grew up hearing about Jesus and hearing about like God and heaven or whatever.
Okay, so you didn't like go to church growing up?
Oh, I didn't go to church until much more recently.
Oh, okay. So tell me about this. It's like meaning like you found Christianity. Sounds like.
Like I looked more into it. Like I was like, I mean, my research probably isn't the best quality, but I do know like I have like I found the answers to some of my questions. I guess you could say it's kind of like
yeah.
There's apologetics on it. So.
Some what sign?
Apologetics. I've done some apologetics research, I guess.
Yes, I don't know anything about this.
What apologetics is?
No. Yes.
Apologetics, it's just it basically just means like a defense of a belief, right? So for example, if I'm like a Christian apologist, if someone's a Christian apologist, that means that they defend Christianity. They'll intellectually use logic to defend their worldview. That's essentially what how I describe apologetics.
They use logic to defend their worldview.
Yeah, like philosophy, logic, all that kind of thing.
Okay. So you will use Christian logic
Well, I mean,
to defend?
I'll use logic to defend my beliefs that Christianity don't hold the ways of Christian. Well, I'm saying like that's what a Christian apologist would be more racist for myself though, because everything. But I do have a bit of things I guess that I've looked into. So I'm more convinced of my faith than I've probably been before.
Okay.
So, especially when I was younger, I was way more convinced now. So.
Okay. Cool.
So,
And where do you do most of your research?
I guess I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos, but now I've done some research on like Google. I looked up. I don't exactly know which sites, but I've looked at like I've looked at a little bit of the Church Fathers, a little bit. That's I guess, and I've done research I guess on like I'll use like one of the like Bible Gateway app for looking at the Bible, doing like stuff, so like looking into that for like everything and stuff. And sometimes I'll just like I guess try to like because like, there's different types of like claims people make about the Bible. People make moral claims like, well, God did this, therefore God's evil, which basically, if it does come from an atheist worldview, there's not really generally a objective sense of that, which means there's not really like a well, this is wrong no matter what sense when it comes to morality, because I don't think we have that kind of foundation with atheism. You can have morality with atheism. What I'm saying, but that's beside the point, right? There's also like claims like historical claims.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can we go back to that? Well, 1 second. I have a few questions about what you're saying.
Oh, sure.
Okay. So you're talking about morality, and I feel like that's different than a religion. And are you claiming that atheists are amoral?
No, that's not.
Okay. I just
made sure to say there that you can have atheists can have moral. There is moral. You can have morality within atheism.
Yes.
Thank you. An objective foundation. Like you can't, because it's like if
now
say God, there is an all like.
Do you think you can have an objective foundation from a Christian point of view?
I guess to an extent. I mean, some people will argue that just God's morality, just God's opinion. But I feel like it's a little more than that sense that God. I would argue that since God created the universe, he has.
Well, but you're saying that as it's a fact, as if it is a fact.
I'm saying if Christianity is true, like I'm saying, like
right. So that is your basis, but that is not objective.
Well, I'm saying, whether Christianity is true or not, it's objective. Like, but I'm saying if Christianity
no,
is true,
it is not. It's subjective.
So you're saying, wait, what do you mean? How is it subjective?
Because you're assuming that it's true. And then going from there.
Well, I'm granting it for the sake of I'm not like arguing that Christian morality is correct because Christianity is true because I assume Christianity is true. I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying that like if the Christian God is true, then Christian God is this objective morality moral framework, or if like the Greek gods are true, then that's the objective. But if atheism is true, then where's the objective like moral framework? Where's the objective moral login?
Ethics.
Ethics. Where do you get ethics from?
Read ethics. Read books about ethics.
Because humans write books. So.
Yeah, I mean you can humanism.
Secular humanism.
Sorry.
Secular humanism.
I mean sure, but like you're saying that like it's a religion, but it's not.
Secular is like this non-religious generally. So I'm saying secular.
I don't.
That's what I've heard it called. So.
But you're talking about you want to like find a code to live by.
Yeah. Well,
and that's very a good way to be, especially like you're in your early 20s, I'm assuming. Yeah. And I know like my kids are I have a 22-year-old, and so like a lot of his friends are on a very similar path. Like I know one of them specifically is I would say like a seeker, and has like been reading about different religions over the past few years, and you kind of remind me of her, and which is great. Yes, read about different religions and like put yourself in those and just see if that feels like a good way to live. Yeah.
I think what I was saying with the moral stuff earlier too is like I said, you talk about humanism is like that is a moral philosophy. Once again, what makes you know what objective means?
I do. We were just talking about it, and I was correcting you about it.
Well, you're saying that like you said, because I think does that mean you think that humanism, like morality that humans ultimately made, is objective?
No,
Okay.
But if you're objective means outside of any worldview.
Well, it's
Don't
true
you think?
outside of any worldview. Well, I'm saying it's true no matter what someone thinks, basically. It's true whether you like it, basically. So, you know,
I agree about that.
Right, so I'm saying, like, I don't think that, you know, you can truly get an objective, like, true no matter what anyone thinks, moral worldview from atheistic philosophy, from any atheistic philosophy, because there's nothing that can enforce that, because, like, if let's say, like...
I disagree with you about that.
Okay, how would you contend with that?
Well, atheism doesn't have... Atheism, I believe... I mean, I honestly, look, I don't feel like I want to, like, argue with you about it. Yeah, but I just want to say I don't feel strongly about this, and I don't feel like, yeah. So I guess I just want to say it like that. But and like I'm not like a staunch atheist, and like all of those things. First of all, okay, but the way I feel about atheism is that it is objectively objective. It doesn't have a worldview. There is no God.
Well, there's worldviews inside of atheism, but atheism is like it's not like a religion per se.
Exactly.
It's
so the way I live is I don't believe in a higher power, and I believe in human to human interaction.
Yeah.
That is my moral code.
Okay.
Ethically, like I like the golden rule.
Yeah.
Treat people how you would want to be treated. And like over my life, like I'll be 49 in a few weeks, and you know I've learned a lot. And like if my 22-year-old self was listening to me right now, I think that she would be like, "Oh yeah, I totally agree. I totally feel the same way." But I know that my 22-year-old self knew so much less, and my almost 49-year-old self. There's just life experience that there's no way to know as much as you want at age 22 than you know when you're older. But you just do your best and you learn as much as you can. And yeah, just treat others how you like that. It's as easy as that. And trying to figure out if there is a God and like how the world was formed and all of that, like I barely have time to enjoy my life enough as it is, and like taking walks in the woods and doing things with my friends and all of that is way more important to me than trying to figure out that kind of thing. That's how I feel.
I mean, I think like when it comes to in terms of importance, I think that what's important, I guess, because I guess have you ever heard of Pascals later?
I'm sure I have, but I would love for you to explain it to me again.
It's I'm just gonna be saying something like that. It says like, well, I do believe religion is partially for the reason that like it could have to do with eternity, right? Like if Pascal's wager personally isn't perfect, but there's a better argument than that. But, like I'm just saying like because when it comes to like eternity, like it's better. The idea is it's better not to take a chance. Like okay, for eternity, right? Like if atheism is true, then there is no God. Well, I guess if I'm Christian, I lose nothing. But if I'm atheist and Christianity is true, then I guess I could probably lose out my eternity with God.
Do you think that if Christianity is true, do you think that a person like me, who is an atheist but lives a good moral life, living out as like a golden rule, do you think a Christian God would send me to hell?
A Christian God? I mean, are you operating on the morals of Christian God or your morals? Because you just said if I'm a good person, but I'm atheist.
I'm asking you the question that I just asked you. So don't ask me a question back.
For clarification. It's like, so I can
okay.
Because like, are you saying if you're good according to the biblical standard?
I'm asking you what you think according to what you believe.
Okay, so I guess I should clarify for myself then, because I think that according to Christianity, we have all done something wrong in our lives. We've all hurt somebody or sinned against us or our bodies or God or someone else, right? So we've all been imperfect.
And why did Jesus die?
To pay for all those sins so that we could be saved. I think that without belief in trusting in Jesus, we all have something that we are guilty of, and we're not being. So ultimately, we're all, in a sense, I guess, headed to hell, or at least it's kind of like being sentenced to jail for like a crime. We've all committed some sort of crime, so we're all guilty of that. We're naturally going to go to jail. But then Jesus comes in and says, "Hey, I'm offering to pay the fine for you." You know, but of course, if you have to kind of believe in the person who's paying the fine for you to be able to, like, you know, that he's even there for him to pay for you and be able to accept the fine being paid by him. So
right.
I would say that as being an atheist doesn't save you. I think.
So you think that I would? So you think that your God would send me to hell?
I think that, well, yes, I think that you would, but I mean,
okay.
There's no guarantee.
And I'm totally okay with that. I don't want to believe in a God like that.
Why not?
For the reason I just said. Because I know I'm living a good life.
Yeah.
And if he's going to send me to hell, he's not worth my time. That is a abusive relationship. And I've already been in one of those because it's coercive control.
Coercive control.
Yes. I invite you to learn about coercive control. And the Christian God is the biggest coercive control God.
I would disagree because I think, like, how
you don't even know what coercive control is.
What's like
so you can't disagree with me.
Well, how do you even know when you haven't asked me? Like,
do you know what coercive control is?
That's vacation, right?
Hold on.
I'd imagine
you don't know what coercive control is.
I haven't even begun to explain it to you. Okay, well, what I meant, like, to me, it seems like, do this or I'm going to do this to you, right? It's basically a threat, right? Is that what you're saying? Well, the laws, I guess you'd have to call the entire government and the law and every cop and everyone who enforces the law, telling people not to steal or murder. And
that's a silly argument to make. We're still talking about religion.
We're talking about religion and a moral lawgiver. Yes, we're talking about someone who gives the law, just like the government gives the law and someone who enforces the law.
We're not talking about the government. We're talking about religion.
Yes, God is a figure that God in the Bible is described as a judge. He is a judge. Ultimately judges morality, so why would we not compare that to an earthly judge to understand how it works? That doesn't make sense not to do that.
You're just trying to, like, win an argument by
I'm
bringing up.
I'm not trying to, like, win. I don't know why you're saying I'm trying to win the argument. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. I'm not trying to, like, be mean to you or nothing.
No, I know. But, like, bringing up laws and stuff, I just told you that Christianity is a coercive control situation.
Yeah.
And I have been in a real life coercive control relationship, and I'm no longer participating in coercive control relationships.
My condolences to that, and no one should have to deal with that as a relationship that they have.
And so I invite you to look into coercive control and decide if you want to be in that or not.
Okay. All I was saying is that, you know, like, I think I was just thinking if you're being consistent, I guess, with it, I guess you'd have to say that like, judges that sentence murderers to prison is coercive control because they said don't murder, otherwise we're going to prison. Because from what I described and you would read with that being coercive control, it'd have to be the same thing. I don't know how it'd be.
It's different. We're at the end of your ride now.
Yeah. I implore you to maybe see think about how it might be different.
You look into coercive control.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, because it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you have a good day. It was
super fun talking with you. I hope you do your chart and you learn about your rising sign.
Thank you very much.
And that it, like, brings more excitement and clarity to your understanding of yourself.
Thank you so much. Good meeting you.
Yeah, good meeting you.